Alright guys, welcome back. This is Dragosh with another review. Today we're going to look at Ali Wong, Bany Cobra. Now if you've ever seen Ali Wong, she's been everywhere. Now if you haven't heard of her, then you haven't really been keeping a close eye to the comedy scene. Now Ali Wong, basically her first special came out on May 15th, 2016. So she's been out on the scene for about 4 years in the mainstream media in terms of Netflix. Obviously she's been performing a lot longer than that, but I think one thing you might not know is that she did tour extensively with Dave Chappelle, right? So she was one of Dave Chappelle's main kind of openers for a long period of time. Now, if you guys don't want to, I'm going to do a bit of commentary for the next couple of minutes. If you want to skip straight to the numbers, you can just jump to this particular minute here, right? One thing that I'm going to give you guys a bit of insight on what I thought about this special. So Ali Wong was a very interesting kind of case study for me because Ali Wong is a cultural comedian. You could say she's a cultural comedian. She does a lot of jokes related to her Asian heritage, her general Asian lifestyle. And I particularly wanted to kind of look at what Ali Wong's done in this particular special in closer kind of I wanted to take a bit of a closer look at this particular special because I think it's quite relevant to my particular comedy career, because I do a lot of cultural comedy as well. I talk about my Romanian heritage, I talk about my Romanian heritage, I talk about my Eastern European heritage, and overall I thought that was a very interesting thing because if there was one thing that Ali Wong kind of validated, was that there was a huge market for these unrepresented kind of minorities, if you will, unrepresented like groups of people. Now with regards to Bany Cobra, she did hit the nail in representation wise on maybe like 3 fronts, right? And I'm quite surprised with how Ali Wong has literally spun up this whole bit of a cult following, right? Ali Wong does have a bit of a cult following, and you'll notice this cult following happening every time during Halloween, right? Because there's so many people kind of dressing up as Ali Wong, right? And here's a couple of examples. But not only that, but some of the demographics she's hit are like, she's hit housewives, women, and Asian Americans, right? So a lot of underrepresented type of groups in society. And this particular special was, LPM wise, it's not as strong as all the other specials, right? However, it does tend to focus more on a particular emotion. And that particular emotion is maybe frustration with some of the situations she had to deal with. Does focus a bit more on relationship material, which we've kind of seen. Does focus a bit more on relationship material, right? So she does talk about that, talk about marriage, talks about dating and so on and so forth, which is also very common with male comedians. But I feel like there's a slightly, at least from the Taylor Tomilson and Ali Wong kind of specials that I've watched, feels there's a bit of a stronger inclination to do that. But overall, it was a good special. Really enjoyed it. It really popped up. It really popped off, right? Like in terms of it coming on the scene and getting a lot of appreciation. And I think I think this is the special that has popped up hardest in the past couple of years. I can't seem to remember any special that did so well on Netflix and culturally had such a big kind of impact. I think maybe perhaps Sebastian Maniscalco, but it wasn't as, boom. And you have to take in consideration that Ali Wong, when this particular special came out, she was actually 33, right? So very interesting to kind of see that particular level of success at a relatively young age for a comedian, right? If you look at all the other comedians, Dave Chappelle, kind of, Bill Burr, they're all in their 50s. So good on her, very good special. All right, now let's get into the numbers. Yeah? Okay, so as you can see, we're looking at Ali Wong's situation here. Basically, it's pretty much as follows. Ali Wong, total laughs for the whole show is 264, which pretty much brings it as the lowest number so far. She has the lowest number out of all the specials that I've kind of reviewed, right? In terms of duration, 59 minutes for the show. Average topic covers 15 topics, and average topic duration is 3.93 minutes, right? So she overall comes in at 4.47 laughs per minute, which is just above Chappelle, right? Chappelle has the lowest, for Sticks and Stone has the lowest type of ranking for this particular perspective, right? Now, that was very interesting to see in terms of her comparing to Chappelle, because she did kind of tour with Chappelle for a very long period of time. So it seems like that particular style is maybe this is the Chappelle school style of comedy, right? She does talk a bit more about topics that are important to her. She does bring emotion into the act. So it's very interesting to kind of see this correlation here, and I'm gonna try to look at that into a bit more detail, right? But in terms of the overall kind of act outs, she has 49 act outs throughout the whole show, about 18%, and voice modulation. She has 26 in terms of voice modulation, 26 voice modulations, which come out 9% overall for the whole show. And character perspective, she only has 4, because a lot of times it's just her character in the present moment explaining and talking about difficulties of being pregnant, difficulties of relationships, and so on and so forth, right? Very interesting to kind of see. So, but again, remember, Ali Wong did pop aggressively after the show. You know, she did have a bit more kind of clout because of the show that she writes on and she kind of performs on, so maybe that hadn't helped the whole zeitgeist propel it forward. She does write and co-star in this show called Fresh Off the Boat, which is a relatively popular show in the US. Perhaps that also helps propel her towards the popularity that she had. But as I mentioned, she is a popular cultural icon with regards to the Asian American wife community. If you look at Halloween, pictures of her everywhere, right? All right, let's start looking at the graphs. All right, so let's look at the first graph. The first graph here is this is Ali Wong, blue one, over here at the bottom, right? As you can see, it's similar kind of movements and patterns to Dave Chappelle Sticks and Stones. Very, very similar, right? Then we have Tomilson, you know, around 5 mark. And then we have Jim Gaffigan at the top, very much. Bill Burr, Paper Tiger, and then Dave Chappelle, Kill Me Softly. So very interesting. This is how, in terms of general pose of the show, this is how Bany Cobra looks like. As you can see, very high ups, downs, up, downs, a lot of pauses to kind of set up the jokes, right? She does take a bit of time to set up the jokes. Very interesting. Then we start looking at the distribution of laughs versus physical act outs, voices, characters. And I've also put another category called discuss, because a lot of jokes that she does are focused on discuss. But I think, you know, it's not that relevant in this particular graph, to be honest. I think the majority of it still comes from physical and characters, right? Right, now let's look at the topics that she covers in this particular special. So the topics are 15 and they cover HPV. She had HPV younger and talks about, like, you know, how everybody has HPV. She talks about hoarding and her mom in terms of physical hoarding of, you know, basically valuables and goods, with a little bit of reference to Marie Kondo. She gets into the whole getting married and trapping. Trapping is a very big kind of theme throughout this whole show, and not wanting to work. Basically, if I were to summarize this whole show into a phrase or two, it would be I don't want to work, and trap his ass, which have been kind of the slogans a lot of fans have used, right? Then we have sleeping with white guys, Asian heritage and Asian differences. Then we have process of proposal and marriage, her basically pressuring her husband into doing it. We have shitting at work, very interesting. Housewife life. Then we have married sex life, wanting financial security, Asian women don't age, her mom and Asian drivers. Then talking about her miscarriage and how the big revelation at the end that her husband actually trapped her because she's the one making the most money in the family. So these are the kind of themes that she covers. Very interesting. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. This is how it pretty much looks in terms of Ali Wong. I wanted to keep this video a bit shorter. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, please do drop me a subscribe, a like, a comment. Let me know what other specials to look at. Hope you guys had fun, and see you guys in the next one. The graphs are at the end as per usual.